Hey YouTube, it's JB. Welcome to another edition of Third Eye Lucid Flow. Thanks for dropping in today. I've got Patrick Kane in the hot seat. He's talking about he wants to be traded out of Chicago. Whether that happens or not remains to be seen. I guess the New York Rangers, he was eyeing them up, but they don't want him, of course. We're going to take a look at a couple incidents involving Patrick Kane here in the last several years of his career as a professional athlete. So let's dive into that here today.
Is less than a month away, which means Hawks fans, this could be your last few weeks to watch Jonathan Toews and Patrick Kane as Blackhawks. The Blackhawks back on the ice after a week off. Toews is out with a non-COVID illness. Because of a clause in their contracts, both Kane and Toews would have to sign off on a trade. Likely not an issue, as both have alluded to being open to it. Kane has not made a decision, but expects to take it up to the deadline.
Try to go about my business playing hockey, but definitely.
Well, hopefully when he goes about his business playing hockey, he's got some loose change in his pockets.
Had some internal talks with my agent, and
Yeah, well, Patrick, doesn't really matter wherever you get traded to. If you get traded, you are definitely not winning the Stanley Cup. Let me reassure you on that.
I'm sure at some point probably catch up with Kyle or whoever here and see how it goes. Still have to decide.
Yeah, he's a lot to handle for a lot of these clubs. Number one, he's a little bit older, so he's getting into the twilight of his career. He's not the same player that he was coming out of juniors, of course. So he's lost a little step in terms of the edge. He's not physical at all, so you're really just relying on this guy to produce offense. He's not that great on defense as well.
If we're getting to that point yet, so.
And the other problem with trading this character, he's got a big, huge contract that probably, in the NHL, today's NHL anyways, contracts need to be fit into the salary cap.
I think there's definitely opportunities out there that are intriguing.
Well, the opportunities, the windows are closing fast on you, Patrick Kane. And so, some of the stuff that you've performed off the ice, we're going to get into that here today.
It could be exciting, so, obviously, figure out team could be the best fit, but.
Okay, so yeah, like he says, wherever he's going to go, he's not going to win a cup. All right, so let's dive into a Patrick Kane incident from his past here.
At about 4:30 this morning, this cab driver says the cuts and bruises on his face are from NHL star Patrick Kane and his 21-year-old cousin.
Now, if you can believe that this older gentleman's trying to make an honest living, and we've got Patrick Kane jumping the poor guy over 20 cents.
The guy pays and the other guy grabs him by the throat. Patrick Kane could turn out to be a hockey player. I don't know who they are.
The cab driver, who only wants us to use his...
Yeah, this guy has no idea who Patrick Kane is. He's just going about his business, trying to get people from point A to point B.
Initials of JR tells News 4 people in the neighborhood heard the commotion and recognized the hockey player.
Yeah, so if people actually didn't recognize Patrick Kane, you can imagine that he would have got away with this.
The drama unfolded when Patrick Kane and his cousin James hailed JR's cab on Chippewa Street at about 4 in the morning. The two ended their ride here on Eastwood Place in Buffalo, and the cab driver says this is where the trouble began and all over 20 cents. The fare came to $13.80. JR says the Canes gave him $15, but he could only give them $1.
Yeah, so the guy gives them $1 change, but that wasn't good enough for Patrick Kane. So Patrick was really upset about 20 cents that he felt this honest working guy was shafting him. So that's kind of the quality of person that you get with a Patrick Kane.
I didn't have 20 cents to give change. I said I don't have the change.
All of a sudden, according to JR and the police report he filed,
The one game is choking me, the other one's punching me. Don't you know who I am? Don't you know who I am?
Yeah, that's Patrick Kane feeding him the lefts or the rights, whatever he's doing.
You're messing with the wrong people.
He's trying to tell this guy you're messing with the wrong people. Like, give it a break, Patrick Kane.
I didn't have the 20 cents to give him change.
the cabbie accuses Patrick and James of taking the rest of his money, and that's not all.
My glasses are busted. My shirt's tore open.
Patrick and James entered a not guilty plea in court.
What was the plea?
Not guilty.
As for the
Yeah, of course, he pleads not guilty, right? Even though he's damn well guilty.
option to say anything else.
No, thank you. So this is it. I'll let my lawyer talk about it later.
Patrick Kane and his cousin are charged with robbery and criminal mischief. In a statement, the Chicago Blackhawks say it's aware of the allegations, and while it's still collecting all the facts, the team stands behind Kane, who is considered a team leader and a big part of the organization.
Yeah, right.
But before he took the ice, the Chicago Blackhawks 20-year-old star addressed a media contingent that wanted to hear from him about his arrest on charges that he and a cousin beat up a 62-year-old cab driver earlier this month in the player's hometown after the cabbie told them he didn't have 20 cents change for the fare. Kane, the number 1 overall pick in the 2007 NHL draft and the league's 2008 Rookie of the Year, was unable to shed any light on the situation.
I know everyone wants to talk about what happened in Buffalo. As you know,
I love how these guys feel that they can just go around, do whatever they want, and then they don't want to talk about it.
all the legal proceedings are pending, and I cannot discuss the details at this time.
What he could talk about was the remorse he felt.
Because I put myself in being in the wrong position in the wrong time.
Okay, so he put himself in the wrong position at the wrong time. I think that maybe that the cabbie did, so not you, Patrick Kane.
I've caused a lot of pain for my family, my hometown of Buffalo, the city of Chicago, the Chicago Blackhawks, and obviously the great fans we have here in Chicago. And for that part, I sincerely apologize.
Yeah, what about an apology to the older gentleman that got his ass whipped by you, Patrick, and you and your thug cousin?
He did not take questions, ending his statement by saying,
Now it's time for me to move forward.
Yeah, move forward, Patrick. Move forward, buddy. We got another case on Patrick. All right, and then we've got the lovely Patrick Kane up for rape allegations here. In this article, it states that Patrick Kane will not face charges stemming from rape allegations. So, Mr. Kane, we already know he's a bit of a nasty guy, right? So he's been accused of raping a young lady after they won the Stanley Cup. And this announcement came after Kane's accuser reportedly told authorities on Tuesday she no longer wanted to cooperate with the investigation into the Blackhawks star. Citing 5 sources with knowledge of the case, the Buffalo News reported that Kane's accuser told authorities that the high-profile investigation has caused tremendous stress for her and her family and that she no longer wishes to participate. Kane was under investigation after being accused of raping a woman in Buffalo, New York on August the 2nd. The woman alleged Kane overpowered her and raped her after she went back to his house after meeting him at a local club. And then we can see in the last sentence here, Kane continued to play despite the investigation, though largely eschewing public comment. Kane has denied all wrongdoing, right? So he didn't think he did anything wrong. And so slap on the wrist. So 2 huge incidents for Patrick Kane, not making himself be portrayed very nicely to the media and to the general public by allegations of rape and by allegations of beating up an old man that drives a cab for a living. Thanks for your time. Like, share, subscribe. Peace.